Welcome back to Weights and Wealth. We have a little bit of a different episode today. We'll just be talking about the 10 most important decisions you can make in your life.
Yes.
I mean, what else do you need to know? But first, we would like to give a shout out to Mohammed from YouTube, who recommended that we do chaptering on our YouTube videos. And Tech Guy Whiz Ted here.
Wouldn't say tech whiz. Kind of incompetent when it comes to tech.
Well, you figured out how to do chaptering on YouTube. So
I did.
Good job. Very good job.
Our YouTube episodes, I went back. So everything since episode 1, everything is chaptered. And if you're, I guess, too lazy to scroll down a little bit to the timestamps, you can just scroll your mouse over the chapters.
It's like clickable show notes, isn't it?
I think so. Well, timestamps, clickable timestamps. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we also have the weights wisdom of the week. Ted?
The weights wisdom of the week is when you're looking at your workouts, you want to focus on building strength from your workout, not the calorie burn of your workout. If you want to be successful long term, you probably want to increase your metabolism, which means you want to build muscle. A good metric to track for building muscle is getting stronger over time. And if you just focus on the calorie burn of your workout, you're probably doing more of a cardio workout. And that's not going to help you increase your metabolism. So if there are weeks or periods of your life where you aren't working out as much, then you're just burning less calories from the workouts that you're missing, and that would lead to weight gain if you're eating the same number of calories as usual, or if it's a week or two where you're not working out because you're on vacation or something and you're actually eating more calories than usual. This happens over the holidays with a lot of people. Then you're gaining weight in that time from less activity and more calories. So this is where people get into trouble, where over time they just continue to gain fat and their workouts aren't helping them improve their physique in the way that they want. So focus on the most important thing, which is the strength gains of your workout, not the calories burned. Also, I'm not sure if you know how incorrect a lot of the trackers and the wearables are, Nick. Do you know the percent error on like the calorie burn on a smartwatch?
No, I mean, I don't have a smartwatch. I would imagine probably at least like 10%.
Keep going.
20?
Keep going.
30?
Yeah, I think it's closer to 40%.
Really?
I looked at a meta-analysis a while ago. I did a post on it on Tesla Help, so put that right here if you're watching, but I think it was close to like 40% error on the calories burned. It's just, they're not, for how good these smartwatches are, they're still not that good.
Yeah, I mean, because I guess it has to take a lot more things into the equation than it actually can.
A lot of times it measures like just heart rate, and that's not going to tell you everything.
Also, doesn't lifting weights burn more calories in the long run than cardio?
Yeah, so cardio is going to burn a lot more calories during the workout. If you're lifting, you're going to continue burning calories after the workout. And if you build muscle, that will burn calories for you at rest. So the more muscle you build, the more calories your body requires to burn at rest. So go for building muscle and getting stronger.
Mm-hmm. So Ted, have you heard about what's going on in China? And I'm not talking about the balloon that was just shot down.
It's old news.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, they're having a big problem with population decline.
Yes. That's typically what happens if you institute a one-child policy.
Mm-hmm. And now they're trying to do the opposite. They're trying to actually incentivize people to have kids. I think their population declined 850,000 last year.
Okay.
Which, there's a lot of economic problems that happen when your population starts to go down, because you have a much smaller workforce producing everything for the entire country.
Yep.
So things are going to get more expensive. You're your pyramid scheme that they call Social Security will also fall apart. And yeah, so they're trying to incentivize people to have kids. Now, the only problem that they're having is they have a lot more males because people, when there was the one child policy, they didn't want to have girls.
Yep.
So they're trying to encourage people to have kids now. And I know Japan has a similar problem. The US is getting
Japan's
there.
very far along that curve of having an older population. Have you ever seen those graphs where going vertical, it's got the age, and then going horizontal, it's got the number of people. On the left side, it'll be like male. Right side will be female.
Yes.
So it'll be this like distribution of your country's age amongst the population. If you have a lot of people in the top of that graph, like Japan does right now, where they have a very old society and they don't have a lot of young people, just like you were talking about, you don't have enough people to produce things and keep the country just going from an infrastructure and from an economical standpoint. You run into a lot of trouble. So even though some people think with climate change that they need to have less kids, that's actually the opposite. You want to maintain at least, it's actually more than 2 kids per family. It's like 2.1.
The replacement rate is 2.1, so to keep your population stable.
Yeah, because it's not just 2, because not everyone has kids. Some people die before they have kids, etc. Some people just don't have kids, so it's more than 2.
And then people also die before they reach adulthood.
Yeah.
Too. So
yeah, but a lot of Western countries are looking like they're going to start facing this kind of problem because people are just having less kids. So it's pretty interesting. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I see an incentives to having kids really coming to America.
a country in Europe did it. It might be Hungary. There's some country in Europe that is giving, I think you don't have to pay income tax if you have like more than 3 or more than 4 kids.
Really? Huh.
We've been playing pickleball a little bit. Alex and I started playing pickleball a little while ago because my mom and dad play. And then Nick joined us the other weekend. He's very aggressive on the court.
Was a lot of fun. I kind of want to join a league now.
It's a pretty easy sport. I feel like anyone can pick it up and play.
Yeah, it's one of those sports where if you're athletic, you'll just pick it up very quickly.
And even if you're not athletic like myself, you can still be okay at it. It's basically like ping pong.
Yeah.
You're on the court. That's how someone described it to us.
It's like an easier version of tennis.
Yeah. It's growing though. It's getting very popular.
It is. Yeah, I saw that some celebrities are starting to like buy teams.
Like a semi-pro league.
Professional. Yeah. Like there are it's a very fast growing sport. Forget how it started. I think it started in the 60s when people wanted to play like cricket or something, but they didn't have the right, I don't know, or tennis, I don't know.
Definitely not cricket.
Forget I started talking, I don't know.
All right, today for you guys, we've got, as Nick said, the top 10 decisions that will have the biggest impact on your life. So we wrote down a small list of 10 of these decisions in order from 1 to 10, and we'll just alternate and go through them. So the number 1 decision that we came up with is following Jesus. We think that living your life as a follower of Jesus has the potential to have the most impact on your life, just in terms of who you'll become, your outlook on life, the type of person that you'll be, and then also just how important it is to have that relationship with God, and for eternity it has an impact. So I guess not just on your life here on earth, but for eternity. So we thought that following Jesus was, to us, the decision that would have the biggest impact on your life.
Yeah, I mean, it really just provides a great moral framework to live your life by, and it really does impact every aspect of your life if you decide to have, a strong code of ethics and to follow something rigidly.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to learn more about faith and if you're interested in Christianity, check out our episode with Pastor Brandon, episode 12. We thought it was a great interview and a great conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a long one. A very, very good one. I would check it out. Number 2 is who you marry. I think this one's kind of self-explanatory, but you'll be spending more time with this person than anybody else. Mm-hmm. You'll be raising kids with this person, and you will be living with them for hopefully the rest of your life.
Yep. I think Warren Buffett said that it was when someone asked him the most important decision, I think he put who you marry as number 1.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think I've seen that before.
Yeah, because you're tying yourself to them legally as well. So you want to make sure that this person has their priorities straight. They have their finances straight. They have similar values as you.
Mm-hmm. And that you like them and love them and enjoy being around them.
Yeah. I know the Mind Pump guys. Who was it? Sal especially has been tweeting a lot recently about the problem with divorce rate. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people expect marriage to be, I guess, exciting all the time when it's really not. I mean, I don't have any experience, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I feel like with how our culture is today, a lot of people go into marriage and their relationships expecting like the other person to make them happy. Mm. But you can't just expect like the other person to be the source of your happiness. That's not a recipe for success. I think we talked about this a little bit with Pastor Brandon. Mm. Or I guess with him, we talked more about you have to be the spouse that your goal spouse would want you to be. You can't just look at what you want in someone else. You also have to be what they want. Mm-hmm. But I think just expecting the other person to be the source of your happiness is like a recipe for disaster. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I was kind of mentioning earlier, I was trying to get at like if people lose the spark, that is a common reason for divorce. But I mean, in any relationship, you're not going to have that all the time.
Yeah, if you listen to old couples, if you ask them about that, they'll say, yeah, there'll be times that you don't have the spark, but like your partners, you just got to keep going through it until you find the spark again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely who you marry is very important, just especially with the divorce rate, how expensive divorces are. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we've already talked about the religious aspect of marriage. We talked about that with Pastor Brandon. And for anyone that's religious, you're probably not going to want to get divorced, not for financial reasons, but for religious reasons as well. So I think in like religious couples or in more traditional societies, the divorce rate's a lot lower. Like if you look at arranged marriages in India or in Indian culture, I think it's like a 3% divorce rate. It's really, really, really small. Mm-hmm. They just stick it out, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there are legitimate reasons to get divorced, but I think, like case of like domestic abuse, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I think majority of the time people get divorced for the wrong reasons.
Also, you don't know what other people's situations are, so you never want to judge other people for something like that. Mm-hmm. Our number 3 is deciding to invest and paying yourself first. We think that paying yourself first, or in other words, taking money out of your paycheck to put into your investments before you put that money in like your checking account to spend. We think that paying yourself first and investing is one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your life, because if you decide to do that from an early age, the money will compound. We did an episode on compounding interest, but when you do the math, just investing like a couple $100s a month over the course of 20 years gets you to like $1 million at 8% growth. So easiest way to become a millionaire It takes a little while, but you just put that money away and let it compound. And making that decision and just starting to invest and just making that commitment and being disciplined about it, we think is one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your life.
Yeah, I mean, even just starting to invest at 20 versus 25 will make a big difference because your money typically doubles every 7 years. It's like a good rule of thumb. So, if you're at, say you start investing at 20 versus 25, you have an additional 5 years before you retire if you work the same amount of years. And then if your nest egg is around like $1 million by the time that you're 60, an additional 5 years, almost doubling, call it an extra 700,000. 5 years makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on, deciding to live a healthy lifestyle. Really, your health is one of the most important things. You taking care of it will let you live a happier, more enjoyable life. If you're taking care of your health, you can do more things. You can spend more time with your family, spend more time with your friends, live a longer life, and just enjoy it yourself more.
I think it was episode 3 that we talked about how your health is your wealth, right? When you see someone that's like sick or chronically sick, the most important or the most valuable thing to them would be having their health back. So make sure that you are living a healthy lifestyle will make you feel wealthier or happier, especially in the long run. I feel like a healthy lifestyle is one of those things where people don't see the immediate impact that it will have on their life, like tomorrow. So they don't bother to incorporate a lot of these healthy habits in their lifestyle. But a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, you really see the compounding effects of these healthy habits.
Yeah, it's just like paying yourself first. Investing in your health now will lead to returns down the road.
Absolutely. Number 5 is deciding to prioritize different things in your seasons of life. So maybe if you're in your young 20s and you're single, you might want to prioritize your work and get ahead of the curve there because you have a lot of free time to put into your career or a side hustle or what have you. And then when you have a family and you have little kids, maybe you want to deprioritize that work aspect of your life and put more of a priority on the family aspect of your life and spend more time with your kids when they're really little. So figuring out how to prioritize different things in different seasons of your life is important because if you don't learn how to prioritize these different aspects of your life in different seasons, then either you might pay the price for it if you didn't focus on your career early in your 20s and then you have to be grinding on your career in your 30s when you have little kids. You're missing out on like raising your kids a little bit. And then so you're kind of got behind there. Or if you're trying to prioritize too many different things at once, maybe you're super stressed and you're not able to make time for things you want to make time for. So, of course, like life happens and you get really busy and you can't always control everything. But if you are able to try to prioritize things and determine what takes more of an importance at different times in your life, then you might feel like you have more freedom and control over your actions and your time and your decision making. So with these first 5, we had all the 5 F's.
We did.
For number 1, we had faith. For number 2, we had family and friends. And number 3, we had finances. 4, we had fitness or health. And number 5, we had freedom. For these next 5, we have one of each of the 5 F's again. So we got our first 5 done, and Nick will lead us off on the next 5 top 10 decisions.
So this one kind of falls into the family category a little bit. It's who you pick as your friends. There's, the famous saying where you become who you surround yourself with. And it really is true. It's important to live with people who have, or to be friends with people, have roommates that have similar values as you and who just want to prioritize the same things. If you have a roommate who's just going to the gym all the time, or a friend that's always going to the gym, you're more likely to go as well, just because you're spending time with that person, and that's something that they're interested in. And the opposite's also true. If you have a friend or a roommate that just likes just to go out on Friday, Saturday nights, then you're going to be doing that as well. Now that has its time and place, but there is a point where it becomes excess.
Absolutely. It's the whole show me your friends and I'll show you your future thing.
Yeah, I think they say that you become an average of the 5 people you spend your time with.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I've heard that before too. And I think it's definitely true. The people that you spend a lot of time with start to rub off on your decisions, your language, how you talk. I'm sure you've noticed that before. Like who you hang around with influences your vocabulary a little bit.
Absolutely.
It's just kind of interesting. It's weird how you just kind of mold different aspects of yourself to the people that you spend time with. But humans are social creatures. I think that's just like a side effect of that.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Wisconsin for 2 years. Now I say "ope" all the time.
Yeah. All right, number 7 is finding your faith community. Having like a really strong church community makes a huge difference in your life. For me personally, I've noticed that being a part of different churches, some of them have like a really good community where people are like involved in each other's lives, and then some are you just show up and go to mass and then go home, and you don't really interact or have a community with the people. But I think it's really important to have a strong, in our case, Christian community around yourself, because just like that one we just talked about, where you become an average of the people you hang out with most, you want people that have similar values that you hang out with. You don't want to be around people that have a different value set than you, so having that strong community to help support you, and that you can help support other people in that community, and that have similar values to you, I think is really important.
Yeah, I know Pastor Brandon, or we talked about this with Pastor Brandon in the interview, but it really is important to have a tribe and a group of people that you can rely on. I know we have our stress episode coming up, but when somebody's stressed, you release oxytocin, and that makes you want to talk about it with people. Like, humans are social creatures, and it's good to have people around that have similar values that you can talk to.
Absolutely.
So, number 8, deciding to get gains.
Oh, yeah.
And who you become as part of the process.
Yep.
So, it contributes to a healthy lifestyle as well. It really does increase your confidence. I know.
Absolutely.
When I'm not lifting as often, I just feel worse about myself. I don't know. There's a good feeling that comes with being strong. So yeah.
Yeah.
Big decision.
One of the biggest pieces of feedback that I get with clients and former clients is because I send out like a little survey whenever I'm done coaching someone, and ask for like their favorite parts of coaching, training with me, their least favorite parts, what I did well, what I can improve on, all that stuff, just so I can become a better trainer over time and see where I need to increase, where I give value. But one of the most common pieces of feedback I get is like, I love how confident I got when I started getting stronger in the gym. Like it was just like a huge shift in how confident I was, and that's a really good feeling to me, to like help people get that in their life, because confidence makes such a huge impact on your life, how confident you are.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a snowball effect. Like Jordan Peterson talks about making your bed in the morning, and it's these little wins that just snowball to living a better life.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like when you're more confident in yourself, that confidence you get from lifting, it's going to help you do better at your job. It's going to help you be more sure of the decisions you make. It's going to help you be more comfortable in your relationships with other people. You might not be as shy or as anxious around other people. So, yeah, I feel like it snowballs into every other area of your life, just getting stronger in the gym, which is really cool. That has such a big impact on your life, not just on your physique, but also the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Do you know when it was that you decided to start getting gains?
It was the end of my sophomore year of high school is when I really started lifting. And like my dad got like a weight bench off of Craigslist, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing, but I just had fun hitting PRs every single week. It was awesome. I think my bench was around 130 pounds when I started, and within 3 months I was at 185, and it was literally just going up 5 pounds every single week. But I had no idea what I was doing. I was only like curling and bench pressing. And I had a leg extension as well.
Curling and bench pressing are fun.
Yeah, they are. So, yeah, it was the end of my sophomore year of high school.
All right. I think I was about the same time. I was about junior year. I was so scrawny and skinny. I was like, all right, I have to put on some muscle. And I went to the gym. Couldn't do a 95-pound squat, and I couldn't do a 55-pound bench. And I was with two of my friends, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get strong. I'm going to get bigger. And then from there, it took a while. I had no clue what I was doing in the beginning, and I didn't make much progress for the first 2 years. I was basically doing cardio with weights a lot.
Yeah, I know. And this kind of goes back to you become who you surround yourself with. Like you said, you had two friends who went to the gym with you. I think one of the big reasons why I stayed consistent is because all the wrestlers would go to the gym together after school. So we would all lift together, and then we would go play Ultimate Frisbee. So just having like that group of people to lift with.
Yeah. Makes a big difference.
It does.
Number 9, picking your major and your career. People switch majors a lot, which is, I guess, good that they decide while they're still in school to change. I know I switched. I was chemical engineering, which I had to keep doing throughout college, but then I eventually added pre-med and switched to pre-med. And I think that was, I don't think my degree matters at all, but I enjoyed taking those classes. I enjoyed like anatomy and physiology way more than the chemi classes I was taking at the same time. I can't even tell you what the names of those classes were. Didn't do very well.
Yeah. And this is kind of why it's a little bit lower on the list. It's still very important, but you can change your career once you start doing something. It just takes a good bit of effort, whether it's getting certified or going back to school or learning new skills. But it would be much nicer to get that from the get-go, find something that you really love to do and just start doing that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, they hate their job, they hate their career, and they could switch, but they're scared to make a change, Like, what will I do if I quit my job and I don't have an income? That's, I think Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which was our January wealth book of the month, talks about it being like a drug for people. This
a salary.
Income. Yeah, the salary is like
fixed
a drug.
salary.
Like it's like a heroin addict just has to keep shooting up, right? Like people that rely on that salary, they just have to keep getting that paycheck week after week, and they're too scared to go off and make a change and not have that incoming salary every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a lot more stressful to not know how much money you're going to make every week. It's very, comfortable.
Especially if you have large fixed payments.
Right, yeah.
Mortgage, car payments, stuff like that.
Yeah, like I know people, like a lot of people are complaining about how much realtors make right now. Realtors have been making a killing. But, there are times where they make nothing for months.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and that's sales. Like sales is, if you are good at it, you can make a lot of money. So
yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those fields. Maybe try sales. All right. Number 10.
Last one is where you live. So this is similar to the last one, can also be changed, but picking where you live, it influences how, like, the type of people that you'll be around. Whether you live in a city, in the middle of nowhere, it can have a big impact on your life.
Yeah. The climate, the people that you're around.
The politics of the area.
The local laws. I feel like that was exposed a lot during COVID. A lot of people moved during COVID. I mean, we moved, but a lot of people started to realize that they did not agree with the philosophies of the people or the towns that like they lived in or the states. I mean, just the difference between Florida and California, like to each their own, but I wouldn't want to live in California during those COVID lockdowns.
I know, yeah. I mean, Californians flocked to Texas. I know New Yorkers went down to Florida. So
yeah, it's just different strokes for different folks.
I think one of the biggest reasons was just taxes, like the state income tax.
Yeah, that's why states like Tennessee and Texas have been growing in terms of population. But yeah, where you live does have a big impact on your life. But like Nick said, like number 9, your major or your career, it can be changed not whenever you want, because you might have something that's tying you down. But if you want to make a change, you probably can make a change. Just how bad do you want to make a change?
Yeah, like once you get rooted, it is kind of hard too, because you have your whole network where you've been spending most of your time, but it is possible to change.
If you have any comments or agree or disagree with us on these decisions, let us know on social media or on YouTube. Hit the comment section. Let us know what you think about our list of the top 10 decisions that impact your life. That's all we got for you this week.
I think that about wraps it up.
All right. Thanks, guys.